Indigenous knowledge is the sum of experiences and knowledge of a given ethnic group that forms the basis for decision-making in the face of solving familiar problems. It is a combination of beliefs, practices, skills, and history. Knowledge is made up from nearly every facet of life, from the superstitions and religious views of a group to the teachings of a group's ancestors. Each indigenous group gains knowledge from their environment and the teachings passed down from generation to generation. This gives each group a unique knowledge and way of approaching problems. Indigenous knowledge is the culmination of a group's experiences and skills that build a strong community and create a stable life for those in the community. Indigenous knowledge has been developed for centuries and has helped to shape the current worldviews, but are in danger of becoming extinct. They contribute to global knowledge, can be adapted to many situations, but they conflict with Western legal systems. Intellectual property is protected in mainly 4 different ways: copyright, patent, trademark, and trade secret. Copyrighted information includes movies and music, like the Martha Redbone album. Patents give the inventor protection of their intellectual property for a period of time, as long as it is disclosed to the public. An example of a patent is Sipco's wireless mesh EWM network. A trademark is a recognizable sign or insignia for a product that is protected by law, like the Sister Sky insignia or the Nike swoosh. A trade secret is a formula, pattern, or design which is only protected by law if it is not disclosed. The intellectual property laws are great for protecting those who follow Western views and laws, but leave indigenous people without any protection. You cannot copyright oral histories and cultural expressions, allowing anyone to use the knowledge gained over time by the indigenous group as a means to an end, without compensating or getting agreement from the indigenous group. Patents do not cover unique strains of crops grown by indigenous people, allowing companies to take these strains without fear of legal action. Trademarks do not cover images or names of indigenous groups, such as the Navajo line of clothing by Urban Outfitters. Trade secrets of indigenous groups are taken and not protected by law. In the United States and Canada, there are laws protecting the cultural and human rights of Native Americans. Many Native American tribes maintain their own territories and laws surrounding cultural issues. Although these laws provide some protection, Native Americans' intellectual property is still taken because of the differences in views between Western and indigenous groups. The International Labor Organization was the first United Nations organization to discuss issues of indigenous knowledge. It helped develop international standards for indigenous workers and is the only convention of the UN that has dealt with indigenous issues. The goal of it was to integrate indigenous people with modern society. One of the more recent issues of intellectual property and indigenous views is the controversy between Urban Outfitters and the Navajo tribe. The Navajo tribe is suing Urban Outfitters because of a letter written by Sasha Houston Brown. She was embarrassed for her tribe by the products bearing her tribe's name on it, such as the Navajo liquor flask. The Navajo tribe is trying to protect its culture, but is having trouble with Western laws because Navajo is such a common name, the tribe has been denied the trademark for it. Another prime example of indigenous people being taken advantage by the Western legal system is the Havasupai tribe in Arizona State University. In 2004, the tribe filed a lawsuit against ASU because blood samples taken by the university in the 1990s were used for research other than the diabetes research it was approved for. The blood samples were also used for research on schizophrenia and theories about ancient human migrations. Indigenous populations are taken advantage of by the Western law system because their knowledge and intellectual property is not protected in the Western view. In watching these interviews of New Mexican locals discussing the lawsuit between Urban Outfitters and the Navajo tribe, one can see the great discrepancy among Western and indigenous views of intellectual property.
A lot of people sometimes don't know, can't distinct one Native American tribe from another and just assume that everybody is, you can say, like Navajo, just because it is one of the biggest tribes in North America. And a lot of times I know some people take offense and say, "Oh, you're Navajo," and they're like, "No, I'm so-and-so, this other tribe." But I think it's pretty cool that they actually, kind of did something like that and then labeled something Native American. So it just, I don't know, gives a little recognition to it. I too offense to it.
I just find it funny how everybody wants to dress like that. I guess there has to be a new trend somewhere.
Like whoever came up with the design should get credit. That's just the way it goes.
Well, I mean, fashion is an expression of, individuals. So at the same time that I see it as like, it could infringe on the Navajos, symbolism and stuff like that. I also see it where Urban Outfitters could take it as an inspiration from the Navajo.
Have you personally seen this around?
Well, I mean, I've seen the tribal shirts and styles like that, but I personally don't shop at Urban Outfitters.
What I understand about, there is a large concern about, maintaining the integrity of the Navajo jewelry and the arts, and so I think they've, it's a valid concern that, someone's using your product as their own and they're gaining from it, and that seems fair to me.
I don't know. I think that these days with lawsuits and the way things go, you just have to be really careful and really work out your contracts with people. And it's unfortunate if Urban Outfitters didn't, work out some type of contract with the Navajo name or something, because a lot of people like the style and there's a lot of money to be made there. But what's fair is fair, I guess.
Would you personally wear this trend?
I'm not really a part of the trend, so no. But I see it worn a lot. It doesn't look good on my skin tone, I don't think.
As future leaders in the information field, it is up to us to bridge the gap between Indigenous and Western views regarding intellectual property and help protect and respect Indigenous people and their ideas.